Hi everyone, it's LaShonda from Labors of Love with another Therapy Thursday video. So today I want to ask the question, what else can be true? So this is regarding how we interact with the world around us. So many of us have interactions not with actually what's in front of us, but with the story that our brain has made up about what's happening around us. So I'm going to start with an example. Let's say you're at a traffic light. You're the first car at the light, and there are cars behind you. The light has just turned green, and there is a car that honks their horn behind you. Most often, people make up a story about what that honk was about, and they interact with that story. And so, if the story you made up is that that person is telling you, hurry up, the light is green, then more than likely, even a lot of people start having that conversation in their car. They're like, first of all, the light just turned green and I know how to drive, and now you're going to sit and wait longer. We go through this whole thing, right? Or maybe if that's not your personality, then it's like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it turned green, right? And we're off. What if the person who honked their horn a few cars back was actually trying to get the attention of someone who was walking down the street because they knew them? So all we know factually is that we're at a light, the light has just turned green, and that we heard the sound of a car honking its horn. We make up the story about why the person has honked their horn, and we interact with that story. And that's just one example, but we do this relationally all the time. And so I want to talk about what else could be true. When you're having a conversation with someone and their response is something that you make up a story around, usually it can be favorable or unfavorable, but you're having a conversation, and this has a tendency to happen more so when we're not face to face. So it still happens when we're in one-on-one conversations with another person face to face, but the tendency for it to happen increases when it's via text message, via email, via telephone, or something where we can't see the other person's face. The reason that's so is because we have this thing called mirror neurons. Our mirror neurons connect with another person and help us to feel what that person is feeling. And that way, as they're saying stuff to us, we kind of understand what they're meaning by it because our right brain and their right brain is connecting. When we are not face to face and we can't see another person, our mirror neurons can't work in that way. So we're left to interpret what their interaction means. So we make up a story around it. I am inviting you to take a pause, and when someone has responded to you, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, but more likely when it's unfavorable, and you want to have a response or reaction to that person, just by pausing and saying, what else could be true? Someone sends you an email and they're saying whatever they're saying, and your first interpretation is they're trying to say I didn't do my job or I didn't send that. Pause and ask yourself, what else could be true? You send a text message to someone asking them to do something, and their response is why? Pause. Their why could mean, why don't you do it yourself? What else could be true? By offering the momentary pause to ask ourselves what else could be true, not only are we allowing ourselves to look more at the facts that are in front of us and not just the story we made up, but it literally is creating a pause so that we're not so quick to respond and so quick to react. Because the unfortunate thing is when we don't take that pause and we immediately respond or we immediately react to what that is, we can't take that reaction back. And many of us have been on the other side of that. We have said something that another person has made up a story about, and they've reacted to us in a way that's like, that's not even what I meant. But because that person likely didn't take a pause to ask themselves what else could be true, they respond to us in a way based on the story they made up. What else could be true allows us to take into account all of the things that are a part of the situation that sometimes go unnoticed when we feel that we are being attacked, or that we feel like we're being accused of something, or we don't feel that we're heard or understood. So, just another tool to add to your toolbox, pausing when you get a reaction that you feel maybe negative and asking yourself, what else could be true? Take into account all of the things that are actually there and not just the story that you've made up in your mind. If you struggle with interactions and relationships with people because you're frequently interacting with the story your mind has made up and not what's there, Labors of Love would love to walk alongside you on that journey. You can reach out to us at www.thelaborsoflove.com. We're on all the main social media outlets, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until we connect again, be well.